even more precise in its details, is the Lena Purana, which identifies the site of Dikshayada on the slopes of the Himalayas. As one navigates the winding streets of Haridwar, today it becomes clear that this sacred geography continues to inspire devotion and reverence in all who visit, a living testament to the enduring power of India's rich spiritual heritage. In the ancient texts, Haridwar's spiritual significance was revered by sages and scholars alike. The Linga Purana, a sacred scripture, pinpointed the location of this holy city as Kanakala, a small village nestled within present-day Haridwar. This precise identification underscored the importance of Haridwar in the eyes of the ancients. However, it was not just the Linga Purana that acknowledged Haridwar's status as a sacred site. The Garuda Purana listed Maya, an ancient name for Haridwar, among the 7 moksha-giving cities or Sapta Moksha Puras: Ayodhya, Mathur, Maya, Haridwar, Kashai, Kanchai, Avantika, and Dwaraka. This enumeration reinforced Haridwar's reputation as a city capable of granting liberation through pilgrimage and ritual. In the Devaidagavada Purana, Haridwar was extolled as a famous place of pilgrimage where devotees could attain spiritual enlightenment. But the text also issued a stern warning: those who accepted gifts at such sacred sites would be destined for Kamapag hell. This testament to the city's spiritual potency and the gravity of its rituals hinted at the transformative power of Haridwar. As one delved deeper into the scriptures, the significance of Haridwar became even more apparent. to Maya Devi Temple, one of the Toshektai Pithas, was believed to mark the spot where Sata's heart and navel fell. This sacred site had become a major center of Shakta worship, drawing devotees from far and wide. Skanda Purana, Adma Purana, and Brahmanda Purana all echoed this reverence for Haridwar, describing it as one of the 7 holy cities capable of granting liberation. The texts painted a picture of a city where spiritual energies were palpable, where pilgrims could transcend the mundane to attain higher states of consciousness. Through these ancient scriptures, Haridwar emerged as a city imbued with an otherworldly essence, a place where the veil between the sacred and the profane was thin. It was a site where sages and seekers converged, drawn by the promise of liberation and spiritual transformation. In the ancient city of Haridwar, nestled in the foothills of the Himalayas, a single drop of Ganga water was believed to hold extraordinary power. It was said that taking even a tiny sip of this sacred liquid could erase the karmic burdens accumulated over countless lifetimes. This notion reinforced Haridwar's reputation as a revered site for spiritual purification and merit. The Nayamata Purana, a regional text from Kashmir, lent credence to Haridwar's sanctity by listing it among the sacred places visited by sages and pilgrims. The text specifically mentioned Kusavarta at Ganghivara, Haridwar, Bilvik, Nila, and Kanakala as sites of great spiritual significance. This recognition of Haridwar's holiness was not limited to local texts. Its reputation had spread throughout India. In the classical Sanskrit literature of Kalidasa's Mayadura, composed in the 5th centuries, Haridwar was celebrated for its majestic geography and mythic grandeur. The poem described the playful grasp of Shiva's hair by the Ganga River and mentioned Anakanekala, near Kanakala, which was traditionally identified with Kankal and Haridwar. This literary testimony situated Haridwar within the classical imagination as a site of awe-inspiring beauty and spiritual significance. The city's reputation had also reached distant lands through the accounts of foreign travelers. In the century, Xuanzang at Chinese Buddhist monk known as Haiyan Tsang visited Haridwar during his extensive travels in India. He described the city as the gate of the Ganga, marveling at its sacred waters and spiritual energies. The sun set over the bustling streets of India. A young monk named Xuanzang sat in contemplative silence. He was on a journey to explore the sacred sites of the subcontinent, and his travels had brought him to the vibrant city of Haridwar. In awe, he described the city as the gate of the Ganga River, its tranquil beauty captivating his spirit. Before him stood a magnificent temple dedicated to the great Deva, its imposing structure radiating an air of serenity. Xuanzang noted that miracles seemed to unfold within these hallowed walls, drawing pilgrims from far and wide. People from all corners of the 5 Indies converged upon Haridwar, seeking spiritual solace and redemption from their past transgressions. They came to earn merit and wash away the stains of sin, guided by the ancient traditions that flowed like the sacred river itself. Xuanzang's account stands as a testament to the city's revered status as a major pilgrimage center in the early medieval period. His words paint a vivid picture of a place where seekers from diverse lands gathered to find peace, and Enlightenment centuries later another traveler, Thomas Courier, arrived in Haridwar, his arrival marking it on the English calendar. He too was drawn to the city's mystical describing, yet as a site of pilgrimage, further solidifying its reputation among foreign visitors as the years past. Mahalera records, the Ainai Barai and Kulisatal Tawarik, chronicled Haridwar's significance, particularly during the Vesakai and Kumbh Mela festivals. These documents spoke of a city that welcomed devotees from far and wide, its importance woven into the fabric of India's rich cultural heritage, yet echoes of Xuanzang's words still resonated through the ages as Couriet's account joined the chorus, affirming Haridwar's enduring status as a place of spiritual pilgrimage. In the 10th century, Abul Fazl compiled the Ainai Barai, a vast manuscript that chronicled the grandeur of Emperor Akbar's reign. Within its pages, Haridwar was referred to as Maya, Mayapur, one of the 7 sacred cities revered by Hindus. According to the Ainai Barai, it was said that Akbar himself had visited Haridwar and drunk from the holy waters of the Ganges, regarding them as the water of immortality. So impressed was he with the city's spiritual significance that he established a mint for copper coinage. Thereas the centuries past, Haridwar continued to flourish as a beacon of pilgrimage and learning. Medieval biographies of Sikh gurus, such as Guru Nanak, recounted their journeys to Haridwar and Kinkil in the early 10th century. During the Mughal period, new temples and ghats sprouted up along the banks of the Ganges, while rulers like Raja Man Singh of Amber patronized the city's spiritual growth. Meanwhile, British colonial administrators took note of Haridwar's rich history and documented its geography, religious life, and cultural heritage in meticulous gazetteers and archaeological reports. The construction of the Bhimgada Dam and the expansion of the railway network in the 10th century transformed the city, drawing an ever-growing tide of pilgrims to its sacred shores. As Haridwar's reputation as a pilgrimage site grew, so did its infrastructure. The influx of devotees from far and wide necessitated the modernization of the city's amenities, while archaeological discoveries unearthed secrets about the city's ancient past. Inscriptions etched into stone and epigraphic evidence revealed fragments of Haridwar's storied history waiting to be pieced together by scholars and historians. In the heart of India, nestled between the majestic Himalayas and the sacred Ganges River, lies the ancient city of Haridwar. This revered place has been a testament to the country's rich heritage, with its unequal preservation of genealogical records that date back to at least the 10th century. City's ancient registers, known as Bayas or Vayas, were meticulously maintained by hereditary Brahmin priests called Pandas. For generations, they have documented the family lineages, births, marriages, deaths, and pilgrimages of Hindu families from across northern India. These records not only served to resolve legal disputes, but also helped individuals trace their ancestry. The significance of these registers lies in their ability to provide a decentralized yet systematic archive of Hindu familial histories that predates modern civil registration. It's astonishing to think that the information contained within these ancient documents has been safeguarded for centuries, offering a fascinating glimpse into the lives of people who lived long ago. Meanwhile, archaeologists have uncovered an abundance of material evidence that corroborates the city's rich history. Terracotta artifacts and ancient temple remains tell the story of Haridwar's antiquity, with each find shedding new light on the city's past. The majestic Maya Devi Temple, dating back to the 5th century, stands as one of the oldest surviving temples in the city. Another significant discovery is the Daksha Mahadev Temple in Kinkil, which is closely associated with the legendary Daksha Yajna. This temple holds great spiritual significance and serves as a poignant reminder of Haridwar's enduring heritages. We wander through the streets of Haridwar. It becomes clear that this city has been a sacred place for centuries. The intricate web of inscriptions, epigraphic tradition, and archaeological findings paints a vivid picture of its richest story. Whether one is exploring the temple complexes or delving into the ancient genealogical registers, it's impossible to ignore the profound significance of Haridwar as an epicenter of Indian culture and spirituality. The mythological origins of the Kumbh Mela, one of the world's largest religious gatherings, date back to the legendary Samudra Manthan. The churning of the ocean, according to ancient texts like the Bhagavad Purana, drops of Amrita, the nectar of immortality,
fell at 4 sacred locations during the cosmic struggle between gods and demons. Haridwar Prayagojayan and Nashikajan has it that these divine elaters touched down at specific spots, imbuing them with unparalleled spiritual significance for devotees. Haridwar's Brahma, Kundit Harkai, Harai holds a special place in their hearts, for it is believed to be the precise spot where one of those precious drops fell. The sacred site has become the focal point of the Kumbh Mela, drawing millions of pilgrims from far and wide. As the story goes, the timing of the Kumbh Mela is carefully calibrated according to celestial alignments. The positions of Jupiter and the Sun are crucial in determining when the festival will take place. Every years, when Jupiter enters Aquarius and the Sun shines brightly in Aries, this cosmic dance, because the cycles that govern Hindu ritual life, reminding devotees of their sacred duty to participate in this grand celebration. Historical records such as Kulasatwarakamutsav and Chehar Gulshanov offer a glimpse into the Kumbh Mela's past. These medieval texts and colonial reports paint a vivid picture of mass gatherings at Haridwar where devotees would congregate for ritual bathing and worship. British administrative documents add further weight to the narrative describing the magnitude and importance of this sacred event. As the centuries have passed, the Kumbh Mela has evolved into an enduring testament to India's rich spiritual heritage. Its mystical air continues to captivate hearts and minds, drawing millions to Haridwar and other sacred sites every years, seeking a share in the divine nectar that once fell upon these blessed locations. As I walked through the bustling streets of Haridwar, I couldn't help but feel a sense of awe at the rich history and spirituality that permeated every corner of this sacred city. The Kumbh Mela, a festival of massive proportions, has been held here for centuries, drawing millions of pilgrims and tourists from all over the world. The city's sources are replete with accounts of mass gatherings, ritual bathing, sectarian conflicts, and public health challenges. A continuous historical record of the festival's evolution. As I delved deeper into the local sacred geography, I discovered that Harai, literally the steps of God, is the most revered ghat in all of Haridwar. According to local tradition, Lord Vishnu himself left his footprint here, and the site is associated with both Vishnu and Shiva. The Brahma Kund within Harai is the epicenter of ritual bathing, especially during the Kumbh Mela. I was fortunate enough to witness the daily Gana Artana performed at sunrise and sunset, which is a spectacle of devotion that draws thousands of pilgrims and tourists alike. As I wandered through the city's narrow streets, I stumbled upon Kanka, one of the Panchtirthas, 5 sacred spots of Haridwar mentioned as Kanikala in the Mahabharata and Puranas. Kanka is renowned for the Daksha Mahadev temple and Sadai Kund, sites associated with the Daksha Yajna and the self-immolation of Sada. The historical and mythological significance of Kanka is further attested by references in Kalidas's Mahaduta and the Nilamata Purana. As I explored this sacred spot, I couldn't help but feel a sense of reverence for the rich heritage that surrounds me. The memories of this visit will stay with me forever, a testament to the enduring power of faith and spirituality in Haridwar. In the sacred city of Haridwar, nestled along the banks of the mighty Ganges River, stood a magnificent temple dedicated to the revered Maya Devi. This temple was one of the Dao Shakti Pitha's revered sites, where the goddess energy was believed to reside. According to legend, it marked the exact spot where Sada's heart and navel had fallen, making it a major center of Shakti worship. As one of the 3 Shakti temples in Haridwar, along with Chandai Devi and Mansa Devi, Maya Devi temple was a place of great spiritual significance. Pilgrims from far and wide came to pay their respects to the goddess, seeking blessings and purification for their souls. But Haridwar's sacred geography extended far beyond the temples themselves. This city was home to the Panchtirthas, 5 sacred sites that formed the core of its spiritual landscape. Gaindabura, Harkai, Horai Kashwar, Kanko Bilwa Tirth, Mansa Devi Temple, and Neel Parvachandai Devi Temple were the traditional stopping points for pilgrims seeking to complete their spiritual circuitous. Part of this sacred journey, Haridwar served as the gateway to the Chardam Yatra, a revered pilgrimage route that wound its way through the Himalayas to the four great shrines of Yamunotri, Gangotri, Kedarnath, and Badrinath. For centuries, pilgrims had begun their arduous journey with a ritual bath in the Ganges at Haridwar, symbolically purifying themselves before ascending to the higher shrines. This role as a spiritual threshold was reflected in the city's very name, Haridwar, or gateway to Hari Vishnu, for in Haridwar, pilgrims crossed from the world of earthly concerns into a realm of spiritual seeking and devotion, and at its heart stood the majestic Mayat Devai Temple, a testament to the enduring power of faith and spirituality in the heart of India. There lies a city so sacred that its very name reflects its purpose. Haridwar, the gateway to Hari Vishnu, or gateway to Hara, Shiva. For centuries, pilgrims have flocked to this holy site, drawn by its spiritual energy. But behind the scenes, a unique institution has been quietly preserving the family histories of these Hindu devotees in the ancient city's genealogical registers, known as Bayas or Vedas. The stories of countless families are written in hand. These worn leather ledgers contain vital records, births, marriages, deaths, and pilgrimages. The practice of recording these events dates back to at least the 12th century, with some claims of even earlier origins. As one delves into the Bayas, it becomes clear that this system has served a far greater purpose than mere record-keeping. These handwritten ledgers have been used in court proceedings to settle disputes over inheritance and property rights. They provide invaluable data for historians studying migration patterns, kinship networks, and social organization in ancient India. The significance of Haridwar's genealogical registers cannot be overstated. For historians, they offer a window into the past, revealing the lives and experiences of ordinary people who lived through momentous events, and for the families themselves, these records serve as a tangible connection to their heritage, a reminder of their ancestors' journeys and struggles. As one navigates the labyrinthine streets of Haridwar, it becomes apparent that this city's legacy extends far beyond its spiritual significance. The genealogical registers are a testament to the ingenuity and resourcefulness of its people who have preserved their history. For centuries, they whisper tales of love, loss, and perseverance waiting to be uncovered by those willing to listen. The following table highlights some key references to Haridwar in ancient texts. Text source: approximate date, context of mention, significance. Mahabharata. Whereas in its description of the city's sacred significance, establishes Haridwar as a major pilgrimage site. Puranas. Some accounts of the city's mythical origins highlights its importance in Hindu mythology. Rajatering Thoughts chronicles the city's history during the Rajput era, documents the reign of the Rajput kings and their relationship with Haridwar. These ancient texts, along with the genealogical registers, offer a rich tapestry of stories waiting to be unraveled. As one explores the city's heritage, it becomes clear that Haridwar is more than just a gateway. It's a living, breathing testament to India's enduring spirit. In ancient times, the sacred rivers and rituals of the Vedas came alive in the rolling hills of northern India. The Rigveda, Yajurveda, and Samaveda sang the praises of Ganga, revered as a river of spiritual significance. As the centuries passed, Haridwar emerged as a ritual center where pilgrims would come to pay homage to the sacred waters. The mythological tales of the Mahabharata, dating back to around Raralut, this further solidified Haridwar's importance. The epic account described Gandhavara, Kanakala, and Kapilastana, all sites now synonymous with spiritual pilgrimage. The Ramayana, which also mentioned these locations, told the story of the Ganga's descent from heaven and Daksha's sacrifice. In the ancient texts of the Vishnu Purana and Vayu Purana, written between Tamsmins to Varonsmins, Haridwar was depicted as a site where ritual sanctity merged with mythological significance. The Purana spoke of the Daksha Yagna at Gandhavara, an event that validated the region's sacredness. As the centuries unfolded, new texts emerged, each one enriching the spiritual landscape of Haridwar. The Garuda Purana, written around the 12th century, declared Maya, Haridwar as one of 7 cities granting spiritual liberation through pilgrimage. This emphasis on spiritual liberation resonated deeply with those seeking a higher purpose. Devai Bhagavatat, Purana, and in the 12th and 12th centuries elevated Haridwar's status to that of Shakti Pitha, a site revered for its connection to feminine divine power. The Shakti tradition flourished here, attracting devotees seeking spiritual enlightenment.
Meanwhile, other texts continue to weave their own narratives around Haridwar. The Skanda Purana and Padma Purana describe the region as one of 7 sacred sites where Kumbh festivals would be held, while the Namata Purana chronicled the local geography and its connection to the Ganga's descent. Classical literary works of Mehaduta Kalidasa, written in the 5th century, attested to Kanaka's sacredness. Through poetic verse, the famous Chinese traveler Xuanzang, who documented his journey in the Sayukai around centuries, left behind accounts of Haridwar's Gate of the Ganga and its revered Diva temple. Foreign recognition continued to pour in. The Maho Chronicles N.I.Barai described Haridwar as a site of miracles and spiritual awakening. In this way, over the centuries, Haridwar evolved into one of India's most sacred pilgrimage centers, weaving together mythological tales, ritual significance, and regional geography to create an enduring legacy that continues to captivate hearts today. In the 12th century, the N.I.Barai chronicled a pivotal moment in history. The significance of Maya ever situated on the banks of the Ganga River, where a copper mine was established. This Mohalara settlement was not only an economic hub, but also a revered site for its religious importance. The centuries past, British gazetteers and archaeological surveys documented the city's development in the 5th and 8th centuries. The influx of visitors during the Kumbh Mela festival brought about significant infrastructure projects transforming the city while maintaining its rich cultural heritage. However, amidst this modernization, the UNESCO historical resource continued to evolve. The genealogical registers, Bayas, which date back to the 12th century and remain present today. These registers meticulously record family lineages and ritual documentation, serving as an invaluable repository of tradition and law. But what makes Maya truly remarkable is its connection to the ancient Kumbh Mela tradition. According to myth, the Samudra, Manthana cosmic churning of the Essenes, yielded the elixir Amrita at Brahma, initiating a cycle of festivals that continues to this day. Millions of pilgrims gather annually for ritual purification and spiritual renewal. In conclusion, Maya stands as a testament to the enduring legacy of its Mahal past, while embracing its rich cultural heritage. The N.I.Barai's chronicles serve as a poignant reminder of the city's significance in both economic and religious contexts, echoing through centuries and into the present day. I delved into the ancient scriptures and old books. One name kept recurring: Haridwar. The historical evidence of its prominence was nothing short of abundant and multifaceted, from the revered hymns of the Rigveda to the epic narratives of the Mahabharata and Ramayana, from the encyclopedic Puranas to classical poetry, foreign travelogues, and modern scholarly analyses. Haridwar emerged as a city of unparalleled religious, cultural, and geographical significance. Its sacred geography was anchored by sites like Harkai Parai Kenko and the Mayat Devai Temple for over 3 millennia. These locations had been continuously sanctified by myth, ritual, and pilgrimage. It was as if the very fabric of India's history and culture was woven into the city's landscape. One of the most fascinating aspects of Haridwar's cultural heritage was its Baneko institutions. The genealogical registers, maintained by Pandits, provided a living link to India's past, preserving the memories of countless families and communities. These records were not just dusty relics. They represented a tangible connection to the country's rich history. And then there was the Kumbh Mela, the cosmic event rooted in myth and astronomical cycles. This magnificent spectacle continued to draw millions, reaffirming Haridwar's role as a spiritual epicenter. It was here that people from all walks of life came together to seek solace, purification, and enlightenment. Haridwar was not just a geographical location. It was a living scripture, a confluence of myth, history, and faith that continued to inspire, purify, and unite generations of seekers. Its presence in the textual material and oral traditions of India was a testament to its enduring significance. As I reflected on Haridwar's rich tapestry, I realized that it was more than just a city. It was an experience that transcended time and space, leaving an indelible mark on those who visited its sacred shores in the heart of India. A city's enduring presence stands as a testament to its timeless sanctity and central place in humanity's spiritual heritage. Haridwar, with its rich tapestry of myth, ritual, and historical circumstance, has evolved over centuries into a sacred identity that continues to captivate pilgrims and scholars. The like of city's earliest names, Gangadwara, Hapilastana, and Mayapuraya, whisper secrets about its sacred geography, the descent of the Ganga, the penance of sages, and the grand sacrifices performed here. Situate Haridwar at the crossroads of cosmic and human history as the ages past, but tells Puranic narratives and local legends layered upon each other like a palimpsest, creating a depth of meaning that is reinterpreted by each new generation. At the heart of Haridwar's sacred identity lies its ritual bathing tradition. For pilgrims, immersing themselves in the Ganga's waters is not just a symbolic act, but a reenactment of the primordial events described in Scripture. The city's ghats, especially Har Kai Parai, become stages for the daily drama of purification, devotion, and communal celebration. The Kumbh Mela, with its majestic procession of sadhus and devotees, is the culmination of this ritual tradition. Every 4 years, as the stars align in perfect harmony, hundreds of thousands converge on Haridwar to seek blessings from the sacred Ganga. It's a spectacle that transcends time, space, and human experience, reminding us all of the enduring power of faith and devotion. As we delve deeper into the city's spiritual heritage, we find that its identity is not fixed but evolves through the interplay of myth, ritual, and his story. Haridwar stands as a testament to the timeless sanctity of this sacred place where humanity has sought connection with the divine for centuries. The Kumbh Mela, a festival of great significance in Hinduism, embodies the perfect blend of cosmic order and human aspiration. Its astronomical timing and mythological origins are deeply rooted in the faith's rich tradition. The festival is a testament to the fusion of celestial rhythms and hue and longing for spiritual renewal. In Haridwar, a city that has stood the test of time, this tradition has been preserved with remarkable resilience despite the waves of change brought about by politics, technology, and globalization. The city remains steadfast in its core identity as a sacred site of pilgrimage and spiritual rejuvenation. The maintenance of genealogical registers, an ancient practice that documents the lineage of devotees, is a testament to the city's commitment to preserving its heritage. The upkeep of age-old temples with their intricate carvings and majestic architecture is another example of Haridwar's dedication to its sacred tradition. But what's truly remarkable about Haridwar is its ability to adapt to changing times while remaining true to its roots. Festivals like the Kumbh Mela have been modernized to resonate with contemporary realities, yet their essence remains unchanged. This delicate balance between tradition and modernity is a hallmark of Haridwar's sacred tradition, one that continues to inspire and uplift millions of devotees every year. As I stepped into the bustling streets of Haridwar, I couldn't help but feel a sense of awe at the city's rich history. This sacred place has been a living archive of India's religious and cultural heritage for centuries. Its unique combination of textual material and oral sources weaving together to create a tapestry of timeless significance. I had heard that Haridwar was more than just a city. It was a repository of genealogical memory, where the past and present converged in a swirl of myth and reality. It was a site of ritual innovation where spiritual seekers from far and wide came to seek enlightenment, and it was a hub of scholarly inquiry, attracting learned scholars who sought to unravel its secrets. As I delved deeper into the city's history, I discovered that Haridwar's significance was not limited to ancient scriptures alone. The overwhelming evidence in old books and texts spoke volumes about its enduring presence in India's spiritual, cultural, and historical imagination. It was a gateway to the divine, a place where the eternal flow of the Ganga River seemed to transcend time itself. I decided to embark on a journey through the ages, tracing Haridwar's history back to ancient times. I would research references to the city in the Vedas, Puranas, Mahabharata, and Ramayana, classical texts that spoke of its sacred significance. I would also delve into early travelogues, inscriptions, and historical records that mentioned Haridwar, seeking to understand its cultural and geographical importances. I began my research. I felt a sense of excitement and wonder at the secrets that lay hidden within the city's ancient walls. Who knew what stories the city's history held, what tales would emerge from the dusty ages of old books and manuscripts. I was ready to uncover them all one by one and to unravel the mysteries of Haridwar, the living archive of India's rich cultural heritage. As I sat in Haridwar, surrounded by the tranquil sounds of the Ganges River, my mind began to wander. I was determined to focus on the city's rich history and significance, but I knew it would take me several minutes to delve into its complexities. Feel free to leave if you'd like. I'll keep working in the background while we discuss your report. Will be saved in this conversation, so don't worry about losing any of our progress. Now let's dive into the heart of Haridwar Parai. This ruttered site is the spiritual nucleus of the city, and its Ganga Artai ceremony is one of the most iconic expressions of Hindu devotionism. We search for information. I want to assure you that we're using reliable historical anchors, so our explanation will be grounded in fact. Let's build a clearer understanding with citations to support our claims. The name Har Parai translates to the feet of Hari Vishnu, and its significance is deeply rooted in tradition. According to legend, Lord Vishnu himself visited this spot in ancient times, leaving behind a footprint attributed to him at Brahmakund, the most sacred part of the Gada. Historical origins of Har Parai are shrouded in mystery, but one story suggests that it's the place where the Ganga leaves the mountains and enters the plains. This makes it spiritually powerful, as the river's passage from mountain to plain is said to imbue the site with sacred energies. Some believe that the gap was built by King Vikramaditya in memory of his brother Patrayari. However, this legend is based more on myth than archaeological proof. Nevertheless, Har Parai remains a testament to the city's rich cultural and spiritual heritage. A Ganga Artai ceremony performed here is an unforgettable experience, with devotees gathering at sunset to worship the river goddess. As I sit here, surrounded by the gentle lapping of the water against the shore, I am reminded of the enduring power of faith and tradition in this sacred place. The centuries past, Har Parai had undergone many transformations. Various rulers and saints had expanded and renovated this sacred ghat, each leaving their mark on its history. Despite the changes, the essence of the gap remained unchanged, a testament to its enduring significance. It was here that the city's most revered festivals took place. Every years, the Kumbh Mela descended upon Har Parai, drawing millions from far and wide. The air would vibrate with excitement as devotees prepared for the Shahisnan, one of the largest human gatherings on earth, even in smaller numbers. During Ard Kumbh or Vezikai, the harvest festival celebrated every April, the ghat came alive with the spirit of devotion, and of the most captivating experiences at Har Parai was the Ganga Artai. The synchronized ritual involved fire, chants, bells, and a deep sense of devotion. Priests, their hands holding large brass lamps, would move in circular motions towards the river, chanting Vedic hymns as they went. Thousands of devotees joined in offering dayas lamps that floated gently on the Ganga's water. Arta was more than just a ritual. It was an act of gratitude to the revered goddess Ganga, she who purifies and sustains life. The offering of light symbolized the union with divine consciousness. As the priests lit their lamps, they were reminded that the Ganga was not just a river, but a living deity. Twice daily at sunrise and sunset, the Artai took place. While both rituals held significance, it was the evening Artai that stole hearts. With its enchanting atmosphere of devotion and light, the stars would twinkle above as devotees came together to pay their respects to the Ganga. It was a moment when time stood still, and all that mattered was the connection between humanity and nature. Ganga Artai had become an integral part of Har Parai's history, with its significance dating back centuries. This sacred ritual continued to be performed daily, a testament to the enduring power of faith and devotion. The sun was setting over the sacred city of Haridwar, casting a warm orange glow over the bustling streets and temples. For centuries, the Ganga worship tradition had been an integral part of this revered place, where devotees from far and wide came to pay homage to the divine. The Artai at Har Parai was one such sacred ritual that had evolved over time, its exact origin lost in the annals of historians. The years went by. Modern organized Artai ceremonies became a prominent feature of the city's spiritual landscape, with Haridwar growing into a major pilgrimage center. The Artai at Har Parai took on a new significance, attracting millions of visitors each year. Almost all of them made it a point to attend the Artai, considering it an essential part of their spiritual journey. The Artai ceremony was more than just a ritual. It was a symbol of Indian spirituality that resonated across the globe. Images of the Artai were used worldwide to represent India's rich cultural heritage. People from all castes, regions, and countries came together to participate in the Artai, creating a sense of collective identity and shared devotion. The crowd gathered at Har Kai Parai. The air was filled with the sweet scent of incense sticks and the soft chanting of Vedic mantras. The atmosphere was electric as people from all walks of life came together in a spirit of unity and reverence. This was not just a ritual. It was an experience that transcended borders and cultures. The Artai at Har Kai Parai drew tourists from far and wide, supporting local businesses, priests, ashrams, and cultural institutions. It was also a significant site for the immersion of ashes, with devotees performing the sacred rituals of Pine Dayan. And as I Visurgin event in recent times, news reports had highlighted the importance of Har Kai Parai as a major site for ancestor worship. The case of actor Dharmendra's ashes being immersed at the temple was just one example. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the Artai ceremony reached its crescendo, filling the hearts of all present with a sense of peace and devotion. In this moment, the boundaries of caste, creed, and culture dissolved, leaving behind only the pure spirit of unity and reverence. The ashes of the legendary actor Dharmendra were immersed in the holy waters, here with full and solemn rituals. As the crowd gathered to pay their respects, I couldn't help but think about the significance of this sacred spot. Har Kai Parai. Har Kai Parai is not just a ghat, it's so much more than that. It's a mythological landmark steeped in history and legend. The very air around here seems to vibrate with the energy of the divine. As I wandered through the bustling streets surrounding the ghat, I felt the weight of tradition and culture bearing down upon me. The sound of the Ganges river flowing gently in the background was a constant reminder of the spiritual significance of this place. It's a spot where pilgrims from all over India come to seek blessings, solace, and enlightenment. And as I watched the sun set over the ghat, casting a golden glow over the entire scene, I couldn't help but feel a deep sense of reverence for this sacred site. For in Har Kai Parai, tradition and faith blend seamlessly with the present moment. It's a place where the past, present, and future converge, and where the divine is palpably felt. As the ashes of Dharmendra were immersed in the waters, I couldn't help but feel a sense of awe at the beauty and majesty of this sacred spot. In the ancient city of Haridwar there stood a historic pilgrimage center that embodied the very essence of India's rich cultural heritage. It was a place where millions had sought purification, peace, and connection with the divine. For centuries, the Ganga Artai, a sacred ritual, took place on its banks, transforming the riverbank into a vibrant theatre of devotion. The sun dipped below the horizon. The air was filled with the sweet scent of incense sticks and the soft chanting of mantras. Fire, water, sound, and faith merged into an unforgettable experience that left all who witnessed it in awe. The Ganga Artai was more than just a ritual. It was a symphony of devotion that resonated deep within the hearts of those who attended. For those interested in exploring more about this sacred site, I could provide a timeline of Har Kai Parai's history, a guide to attending the Ganga Artai, or even a comparison with other famous artists in Varanasi and Rishikesh. Just let me know which direction you'd like to take. As one ventured deeper into the heart of Haridwar, they stumbled upon Neeldhara, a serene stretch of the Ganga where nature, mythology, and early pilgrimage history converged. While modern search results might focus on its identity as a bird sanctuary, it was clear that this place held much deeper cultural and historical significance. To understand the true value of Neeldhara, one had to delve into its rich past. Located near the Bimbada barrage, about kilometers from Har Kai Parai, Neeldhara was a tranquil oasis in the midst of the bustling city. Its waters were said to be sacred, and it was believed that bathing here would wash away one's sins. I delved deeper into its history. I uncovered the story of how Neeldhara had been an important site for pilgrims seeking solace and spiritual growth. It was a place where the ancient mythological tales of the gods and goddesses were said to have unfolded, and where the early devotees would come to pay homage to the divine. Today, as one strolled along its banks, they could still feel the presence of those who had come before them, seeking purification and peace. The soft lapping of the waters against the shore created a soothing melody that seemed to whisper secrets of the past, reminding all who visited Neeldhara of its profound cultural and historical value. In this sacred place where nature and mythology merged, one could not help
but feel the deep sense of connection with the divine as the sun set over the horizon, casting a warm glow over the waters. It seemed that time stood still, and all that existed was the present moment, a moment of peace, purification, and connection with the sacred as you venture before kilometers from the bustling town of Haridwar. A tranquil oasis awaits, known today as Neil Dara. Haridwar, this serene spot has undergone a transformation over time to become a protected bird sanctuary. Every winter migratory birds flock to this heaven, seeking refuge in its lush surroundings. The gentle rustle of their wings and the sweet melodies they sing fill the air, creating an enchanting atmosphere that's both soothing and rejuvenating. But Neil Dara holds more significance than just being a heaven for feathered friends. Its location along the ancient pilgrimage route to Haridwar from the north makes it an integral part of the city's sacred geography. For centuries, pilgrims traversed this path, passing through Neil Dara en route to their holy destination. Its proximity to Bemgada and Haridwar has made Neil Dara a significant landmark in the region. The ancient pilgrims who once walked these paths must have felt blessed to pass through such a picturesque spot surrounded by nature's splendor. Today, as you stroll along the same route, you can almost hear the whispers of his story echoing through the trees, transporting you back to an era long past the Bemgada. Legend lives on in Neil Dara. You wander through the bustling streets of Haridwar. It's hard to miss the tranquil oasis that is Neil Dara. This serene water body has been a sacred site since ancient times, tied intricately to the Mahabharata legend, where Dhamma, one of the 5 Pandava brothers, struck the ground with his knee or mast to create a water source for Draupadi, the beloved wife of Arjun. The nearby Bemgada tank is said to be the result of this divine intervention. As you walk along the banks of Neil Dara, it's easy to imagine the countless pilgrims who have rested here over the centuries. This spot has historically been a haven for sadhus and ashrams, where they could find solace in the gentle waters and majestic surroundings. The Ganga River widens and slows down here, creating a natural amphitheater that has hosted ritual bathing ceremonies before pilgrims embark on their journey to Haridwar. But Neil Dara's significance, it extends far beyond its mythological importance. For centuries, this spot has been a vital part of the pre-modern pilgrimage. Consistent in Haridwar, the gentle waters have attracted not just humans, but also an astonishing array of bird life. In fact, even before the area was formally recognized as a sanctuary, it had long been revered for its rich fauna. During the winter months, Neil Dara transformed into a hub for migratory birds, including rare species from Siberia. The area's ecological and cultural value is undeniable, making it a hot spot for nature lovers, photographers, and ecotourists alike. One of the most breathtaking aspects of Neil Dara is its stunning view of the Shivalike Himalayas. This natural vantage point has been a traditional spot for meditation and nature retreats for centuries. As you sit on the banks surrounded by lush greenery and the gentle sounds of birdsong, it's easy to see why this spot has captivated so many souls today. Neil Dara is officially recognized as a bird sanctuary, attracting visitors from far and wide who come not just to marvel at its beauty, but also to connect with nature. As you wander through the tranquil surroundings, it's clear that this sacred site continues to inspire and nurture all who visit us. The sun began to set on the banks of the Ganges. The area around Neil Dara transformed into a vibrant hub of activity. Photographers flocked to this spot, eager to capture the majestic views and serenity of the surroundings, and they weren't alone. Ecotourists, too, had made their way here, drawn by the promise of an unforgettable experience amidst nature's splendor. But what was it about Neil Dara that made it a magnet for these visitors? As it turned out, this spot held a special significance during 2 major events that come and art come festivals. During these times, the area around Neil Dara became a camping zone like no other. Camping tents sprouted up along the riverbanks as pilgrims and tourists like set up base for their spiritual journeys. The air was alive with the hum of activity. Vendors selling traditional snacks and souvenirs, musicians playing soulful melodies on their instruments, and devotees immersed in prayer and contemplation. In the ancient town of Haridwar, a sacred landscape unfolds along the Ganges River. Here, pilgrims from far and wide converge to pay their respects at the confluence of the river's natural entry point into the plains, this spot known as Neil Dara holds a deep significance that transcends Timmy as one steps into this tranquil oasis. They are enveloped by the whispers of history. Neil Dara is a mythological landscape linked to the epic tale of the Mahabharata, where the gods and goddesses once walked among mortals. It is here that pilgrims have traditionally rested and meditated, seeking solace in the gentle currents of the Ganges. Today, this sacred spot has evolved into a modern ecological sanctuary, safeguarding the fragile habitats of Himalayan bird life. During major festivals, like Neil Dara serves as a cultural buffer zone where the ancient quietness of the river is tempered by the vibrant pulse of the city's spiritual life. As one explores Haridwar's sacred geography, they may wonder about the connections between Neil Dara and other revered sites, the majestic Har Kai Porai, the Bemgada, Temple Kinkalshwarshwarai Devai Chanda Devai. All these places are intricately woven into the tapestry of Haridwar's spiritual heritage. One such site, the Dechmandir Deksheshwar Mahadev Temple in Kainthal, stands out as one of India's most historically and mythologically significant Shiva temples. Its ancient walls whisper tales of a bygone era, where the gods and goddesses once roamed free. In this context, it becomes essential to ground our understanding with solid, verifiable details. The search results triggered may provide valuable insights, but let us build an explanation that is clear, grounded, and supported by credible sources, one that does justice to the rich tapestry of Haridwar's sacred geography. The mythological foundation of Dechmandir lies in its namesake King Decha Prajapai, the father of goddess Satai, according to the ancient tales in the Shiva, Purana, and Vayu Purana. This sacred site holds a dark history. It was said that Decha in his hubris decided to perform a grand yajna without inviting his son-in-law, Lord Shiva. Satai, insulted by her father's negligence, took matters into her own hands. In a fit of rage and devotion, she self-immolated herself in the yajna fire, sacrificing her life for her beloved husband. Shiva, enraged by the tragedy, unleashed his wrath upon Deksha. He sent Virabhadra, a powerful manifestation of his fury, to destroy the yajna and behead Deksha. The once proud king was brought down from his pedestal, a lesson in humility. In a surprising twist, Shiva revived Deksha with a goat's head, symbolizing the importance of humility. This tragic yet redemptive tale has made Kainthal one of the most sacred places in the Shiva Satai tradition. The site is steeped in his story and spirituality, drawing pilgrims from far and wide to seek solace and enlightenment. As one delves into the temple's historical development, it becomes apparent that a shrine existed on this very spot as early as the 12th centuries. However, the present structure was built by Queen Tankar of Lantera in Kodva, showcasing her devotion to Lord Shiva. Temple has undergone renovations over the years, with the most significant one taking place in Hula. The architecture is a testament to the region's rich cultural heritage. Built in the Nagara, still with a tall curvilinear Shekhara spire at its heart, lies the sanctum, housing the revered Shiva lingam known as Decheshwar Mahadev. The complex includes a Yajna hunt symbolizing the original sacrificial fire that had brought about such tragedy. The temple's significance extends beyond its mythological roots, making it one of Haridwar's Panchtirthas, one of the 5 sacred pilgrimage sites in the region. As the seasons change, Kainthal transforms into a major festival center, attracting devotees and tourists alike. The air is filled with the sweet scent of incense and the sound of chanting, creating an atmosphere that is both sacred and sublime. For those seeking to connect with their spiritual selves, Dechmandir remains a beacon of hope and devotion, shining brightly in the heart of Haridwar. As the moon reached its zenith on Mahashivaratri, the air was electric with anticipation. Thousands of devotees had gathered at the Kumbh Mela landscape, their eyes fixed on the sacred site that held immense significance in Hindu mythology. Dechmandir, for centuries, this temple had been a beacon for Shiva, pilgrims drawing them into its tranquil atmosphere. As part of the revered Shiva pilgrimage circuit, as one stepped through its gates, they were transported to a realm where devotion, ego, and cosmic justice intertwined like the threads of a rich tapestry. The temple story is etched in the annals of Hindu mythology. It was here that Sati, the devoted wife of Shiva, had made the ultimate sacrifice by immolating herself at her father Daksha's altar, protesting his arrogance and disrespect towards her beloved husband Shiva's subsequent wrath led to the downfall of Daksha, only to be redeemed through a cosmic cycle of renewal as he was reborn. Dakshmandar's historical importance is immeasurable, built by Queen Danka regional royalty. This monument stands as a testament to the region's rich cultural heritage and its connections to ancient texts that mention Kankal as a sacred site for centuries. It has been a living site of one of Hinduism's most revered myths, a centuries-old pilgrimage center and a key Shaivite hub. During the grand festivals, like Kumbh Mela, temple's architecture is a poignant blend of history and mythology, an intersection where regional royalty met with sacred tradition. It stands proudly at the heart of Haridwar, its spiritual era, drawing seekers from far and wide to experience the transcendent energy that emanates from this sacred cities. One delves deeper into Dakshmandar's connections, they can discover a labyrinthine geography of sacred sites. Sati Kun Harkai Parai Bilkeshwar Mahadev Neel Dhara Jakara. Traditions in Kankal and the majestic Maya, Devi Mandar, each one weaving an intricate tapestry that defines the revered landscape of Haridwaras. We delved into the search results. You triggered our team was impressed with the excellent verifiable detail that emerged. The wealth of information presented a perfect opportunity to build a clear grounded explanation backed by credible sources and citations. We're excited to dive in and craft a comprehensive account, one that does justice to the rich data at hand. In the sacred city of Haridwar, nestled in the heart of India, stands a testament to the region's rich history. The majestic Maya Devi Mandar, dating back to the 12th century, this ancient temple is one of the three oldest surviving temples in Haridwar, alongside Mansa Devi and Chandi Devi. Its age alone lends it immense archaeological and cultural value. Whispering tales of a bygone-era temple's significance extends far beyond its age. It is one of the Toshakti Pithas scattered across the Indian subcontinent, sites where fragrance of goddess Sati's body fell when Lord Shiva carried her mortal frame across the universe. According to tradition, Sati's heart and navel are said to have fallen at this very spot, making Maya Devi Mandar one of the most revered sites in Shaktism. Maya, the Adhista Tri-Devi guardian deity of Haridwar, is the presiding deity of this temple. The city's ancient name, Maya Purai, is a testament to her importance. In fact, the temple's foundational significance in Haridwar's identity cannot be overstated. It is as if the very fabric of the city has been woven around her divine presence. You step into the inner shrine, you are met with a sight that is both awe-inspiring and mysterious. At its center stands goddess Maya, flanked by Kali on one side and Kamakya on the other. This rare triad, the unique triple deity sanctum, reflects the ancient Shakta traditions that once flourished in this land. It is an architectural marvel that whispers secrets of the past, inviting you to unravel the mysteries hidden within its walls. In the midst of modernization and urbanization, Maya Devi Mandar stands as a poignant reminder of Haridwar's rich heritage, a living testament to the enduring power of faith and tradition. As the sun rose over Haridwar, pilgrims from far and wide began to make their way to one of its most revered sites, Maya Devi Mandar. This sacred temple is one of the Panchtirthas, a group of 5 sacred pilgrimage sites that hold great spiritual significance for Hindus for thousands of years. Maya Devi Mandar has been a mandatory stop for pilgrims on their journey to enlightenment during the Kumbh Mela festival, which takes place every 4 years. The temple is thronged with visitors from all over India and beyond. The energy of devotion and spirituality that fills the air during these events is palpable, and it's easy to see why Maya Devi Mandar holds such a special place in the hearts of so many. But what makes this temple truly unique? For one thing, it's historically valuable, because it's one of Haridwar's oldest surviving temples, dating back to the 12th century. Its architecture is a testament to the rich cultural heritage of India, and as one of the Shakti Pithas tied to the myth of Shiva and Sati, Maya Devi Mandar holds deep spiritual significance. You approach the temple, you can feel the energy of the presiding goddess, Haridwar's patron deity. The shrine is a living archaeological site with ancient stones bearing witness to the countless prayers, and offerings made over the centuries, and as one of the major centers of Shakta worship in India, Maya Devi Mandir is a place where devotees come to seek blessings, solace, and spiritual guidance. It's not just a temple, it's the very heart and soul of Haridwar itself, and if you want to understand the true significance of this sacred site, consider comparing it with other temples in the area, such as Mansa Devi Temple or Chandai Devi Temple. Together, these three sites form an ancient Shakta triangle, a powerful symbol of the divine feminine that's at the heart of Hindu spirituality. As you walk through the temple grounds, you can't help but feel a sense of reverence and awe. The air is thick with the scent of incense, and the sound of chanting echoes through the halls. It's a place where history meets spirituality, and where the boundaries between past and present blur for those who seek to understand the true depth of Maya Devi Mandir's significance. There's much more to discover. Let us delve into its historical value and explore the ways in which it has been revered by devotees for centuries. In the heart of India, there existed a revered temple dedicated to Mansa Devi, a manifestation of Shakti, the feminine divine force. The temple's history was deeply rooted in ancient tradition, and its significance extended far beyond its physical structure. It was said that Mansa Devi emerged from the mind of Lord Shiva himself, making her a powerful symbol of femininity and spiritual energy. Her worship was an integral part of one of India's oldest goddess traditions, with roots tracing back to the earliest days of Hinduism. As you stepped into the temple complex, you couldn't help but feel the weight of history bearing down upon you. The air was thick with the whispers of centuries past each stone and pillar, a testament to the devotion and reverence that had been poured into this sacred space over time. Mansa Devi Temple stood as a sentinel, guarding the secrets of the ages and radiating an era of tranquility that seemed almost palpable, and yet despite its age and grandeur, it remained a living, breathing temple, pulsing with the very essence of Shakti herself. As you wandered through the temple's hallowed halls, you began to grasp the magnitude of Mansa Devi's importance in the pantheon of Indian deities. Her presence was felt throughout the land, a reminder that the divine feminine was not just a distant abstraction, but a living, breathing force that coursed through every aspect of life. So as you pay your respects to this revered goddess, you couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and reverence for the ancient tradition that had given rise to her worship. The Mansa Devi Temple stood as a shining testament to the enduring power of faith and devotion, a beacon of light in a world filled with darkness and uncertainty. As I climbed the Bilwa Parvat, part of the majestic Shivalite range, I couldn't help but feel a sense of reverence wash over me. The temple perched atop this sacred hill is a treasure trove of history and spirituality, known as Bilwa Tirtha, one of Haridwar's revered Panch Tirtha's 5 sacred pilgrimage sites. Its central location in Haridwar's sacred geography makes it a hub for pilgrims seeking enlightenment. A temple's age-old architecture whispers tales of a bygone era, while the exact date of its construction remains a mystery. References to the site appear in early Shakta traditions, hinting at its ancient origins. The temple's survival through centuries of devotion has transformed it into a living historical monument, a testament to the enduring power of faith. As I wandered around the temple grounds, I stumbled upon a peculiar yet fascinating tradition: the practice of tying sacred threads on a tree to fulfill wishes. This time-honored custom has been passed down for generations, reflecting the temple's vital role in folk belief and devotional culture. The air was filled with an otherworldly energy as devotees tied their threads, trusting that their desires would soon be granted. Bilwa Tirtha is part of a sacred triangle known as the Shakti Triangle of Haridwar, which includes the revered Chandai Devi Temple and Maya Devi Temple. Each temple represents a distinct aspect of the goddess, forming an ancient Shakti circuit that has captivated pilgrims for centuries. During festivals, the temple comes alive with vibrant colors and rhythms. The air is filled with the sweet scent of incense as devotees gather to worship and seek blessings from the wish-fulfilling goddess. It's a time when tradition meets devotion, creating an atmosphere of fervent spirituality that transcends the boundaries of time and space. A goddess revered by many is an integral aspect of India's rich heritage. Her influence can be seen in various aspects of Indian culture, particularly during the vibrant festivals that take place across the country.